The summary and analysis of Still Arise by Maya Angelou. Let's begin by introducing the writer of the poem. Maya Angelou was born in 1928 and died in 2014. She was an acclaimed African-American poet, memoirist, and civil rights activist. Her works often explores the themes of identity, resilience, and empowerment, especially from the perspective of Black women. Still Arise was published in her 1978 poetry collection titled And Still Arise. The summary of the poem. Still Arise is a poem that declares resilience in the face of oppression. The speaker, a Black woman, addresses an unnamed oppressor, symbolic of racist and sexist societal forces, and she asserts her unbreakable spirit through rhetorical questions and vivid imagery. She challenges attempts to demean her, affirming that she will always rise above hatred, prejudice, and historical injustice. The poem builds towards a triumphant conclusion, celebrating ancestral strength of African Americans and personal pride. What this is saying is that the poem Still Arise by Maya Angelou is a poem that confidently challenges white superiority. In fact, it confidently challenges white oppression in the American society. The persona who speaks in the poem shows how resilient she is as a Black woman in the American society who is faced with racism. She stands tall and demonstrates her pride, her heritage, and she lets the white supremacists know that no matter how much they want her to fall, she will continue to rise above all hatred. She insists that even though they want her to be sad, she will continue to appear happily, appear like a wealthy person, and walk majestically. Even when they want her to appear like a slave, that is like her forefathers, she insists that she'll appear like one of the wealthiest persons on earth. And no matter how much they want to see her fall, she will continue to rise. So let's begin with a stanza by stanza analysis of the poem. Stanza 1 reads, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I will rise." The poem begins with a persona addressing her oppressors, whom she refers to as you. We must note here that the pronoun you is symbolic because it represents the white race. She confronts how her haters or oppressors falsify her history and belittle her dignity with hatred. She acknowledges the pain but asserts her ability to rise above it, just like the dust. This particular stanza is telling us that the poem acknowledges the fact that the white supremacists have twisted our history with lies, have put our ancestor, our heritage in dirt, in the mud, but no matter how much they do this, she will continue to rise. Stanza 2. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. In stanza 2, the speaker, that is the persona, sarcastically asked 2 rhetorical questions. First, she asks if her sassiness, that is her confidence. Sassiness means confidence. If her confidence bothers her haters. Then she also asks why they look so unhappy because she walks with splendor and confidence like a wealthy person. It is obvious that the persona's reason for carrying herself with so much confidence is to taunt the psyche of her haters. The happier she appears, the sadder her haters become. When people do not like you, they want you to be sad, they want you to be downcast. Now you appear before them, walking majestically like a king. Then they begin to wonder, we want this person to be sad, but now she's happy. They will be the one getting sad instead of you. That is the logic of the persona here. Let's go to stanza 3. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still arise. The persona asserts her confidence, resilience, and determination to overcome adversity, regardless the power, actions, or emotions of those who want to see her sad. Using similes, she invokes the element of nature, like the moons, sun, and the tides. She conveys confidence in her ability to rise above racial limitations. These similes are very symbolic, just as it is sure for the moon and the sun to rise and stay above everything on earth. So shall she rise above all hatred and limitations. So the simile she uses here are very symbolic. If you look at the moon and the sun, they are always up in the sky, above everyone else. Just as the moon and the sun is above everyone on earth, so shall she rise above all her haters. That is what she meant by using the moon and the sun as simile. Stanza 4. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head, and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. So in this stanza 4, the persona employs rhetorical questions again. He indirectly suggests that our oppressors desire to see her bow her head in sadness and become emotionally crushed. They want to diminish her spirit and put her in a state of sadness and submission. We now know that the persona knows that her haters want her sad. And because of this, because she knows that they want her to be sad, she continues to appear happy so that she can get back at them. Stanza 5. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awfully hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. The persona defies the expectation of those who hoped to see her diminished, who hope to see her sad. Instead, she boldly reaffirms her self-assurance and questions whether this bothers them. She encourages them not to hate her for the pride and confidence she carries. These qualities give the impression that she possesses immense wealth, as if she had gold mines right behind her home. What this stanza is saying is that, okay, since you want to see me sad, you want to see me depressed, you want to see me dejected, you want to see me unhappy, then I'll begin to walk like a happy person, like a rich person, somebody who has gold, somebody who is digging gold at the back of his home. Stanza 6. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I will rise. As a result of the hatred that our oppressors have against her, she expects in this stanza that they may kill her with harsh words and spread false narratives to damage her reputation. Their hostility, their hatred might even show through the unfriendly way they look at her. Yet, in spite of all this, in the face of all this, she remains determined to rise. Stanza 7. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds as the meeting of my thighs? In this stanza, the speaker explores how her pride and self-assurance in relation to her femininity upsets her oppressors. She asks whether her physical presence and sexual confidence make them uncomfortable. Through the use of rhetorical questions, she expresses joy and self-contentment in her sexuality, likening her private part to diamonds. Stanza 8. Out of the hearts of history's shame, arise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, arise. I am a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. In stanza 8, the persona shifts her focus from comforting her oppressors and instead reflects deeply on the history of suffering of the black race. She remembers the painful legacy of slavery, racism and discrimination, and segregation that have shaped her experience. Despite these hardships, she celebrates her strength and growth. She affirms that she has emerged more powerful and stronger. In the final lines of this stanza, she likens herself to a vast ocean, constantly expanding. This symbolizes her boundless spirit and how her rising is unstoppable. So in this stanza, she tells us that she is a black ocean, a wide ocean that is growing wider and wider, unstoppable, welling and swelling. Even the shameful history of slavery would not stop her from swelling and swelling and bearing bigger fruits. Let's go to the next stanza. Stanza 9. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, arise. Into a daybreak that is wondrously clear, arise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. The last stanza shifts attention to the present moment, where the persona reflects on having endured long periods, nights of fear, humiliation, and both physical and emotional abuse. When we say night here, night in literature, night means the time of fear and terror, the time of suffering. So he had endured long period, long night of fear, humiliation, and physical abuse. She emerges from that darkness. She now lives in a time of peace and liberty, feeling the long-haired dreams of her enslaved ancestors. Her journey from oppression to freedom makes her a living embodiment of their hopes and the realization of their deepest aspirations. Basically, in this stanza, she's saying that living those days, those bad days, those sad days, those gory days of slavery behind, she has now risen into a daybreak that is wondrously clear. That is, the vision is clear, the hope is clear. And she has now risen because she is the gift. She has the gift of her forefathers. And she's now fulfilling the dreams of her forefathers. What are the dreams of our forefathers? Not to be subjugated, not to be taken as slaves, not to be put under the white people's shoe, to be free. Okay, I do not want this video to be too long. We shall end it here and we'll continue in the next video.